Me downstairs in Fellowship Hall, and we'll help get another good person on the ballot. Graham Plattner. Whoa, that was booming. All right, thank you.
I'm Janet Duncan from Missions, and I just want to give you a little update. So for the in-gathering, we were able to buy 60 $25 gift cards for the pantry to give out. And for Giving Tree, we got 30 $75 gift cards so that families could buy gifts for their family members. From our Courage House Fund, we were able to buy 26 $50 gift cards for the men to go shopping. One was a request to go shopping for his kids, so that felt good too. And then from our remaining funds in our mission budget, we were able to give $200 to Southern Maine Agency on Aging, which now has sort of a day program, which sounds wonderful. Also $200 to Partners for World Health, started by a Mainer. Also to Save the Children, who are providing relief to children in Sudan. And $200 to the UCC effort for relief from Hurricane Melissa. And finally, $500 to Preble Street. So, thank you.
I have a couple more announcements first. All right, so in general church news, Christine will be back the 8th if anybody needs to see her for anything. We have no communion this month. And Jane Moody sent a thank you card for everyone who made cookies. So if anybody who made cookies wants to come up and see it, it'll be here for afterwards. And, our annual meeting will be on February 8th. So if anybody who is in charge of a committee, I am going to need your reports by the end of the month of January. I'm pretty sure I said it was going to be the 28th. I'll send out an email. All right. And now we can start the rest of it. So wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever. Oh, no. You do have an announcement.
I did have just a quick
go ahead.
statement. I just wanted to make, Eric Pepe had to call in sick this morning, so we are very fortunate that Beverly Hallman is substituting for him at the last minute. Thank you, Beverly.
All right. Okay, now we can go. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you come with, wherever you are going, you are seen, you are heard, you are welcome, you have always belonged. We opened this gathering with an acknowledgement of the lands, waters, creatures, plants, and peoples whose being is bound up with our own in mutual dependence. For thousands of years, indigenous people have walked on this land, on their own land. Their relationship with the land is at the center of their lives. We acknowledge these lands upon which we worship as the ancestral, cultural, traditional, and unceded lands of the Wabanaki Confederacy. We commit ourselves to the work of dismantling the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism. And if you want to, you can stand up, and we're going to do our first hymn, We Three Kings of Orient Are.
Of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Frankincense to offer have I, incense owns a deity nigh, prayer and praising voices raising, worshiping God on high. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Myrrh is mine, its bitter perfume breathes a life of gathering gloom, sorrowing, sighing, bleeding, dying, still in a stone-cold tomb. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Glorious now, behold him arise, King and God and sacrifice. Alleluia, alleluia, sounds through the earth and skies. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
Is it working? Yeah, all right. So for our centering prayer today, I have excerpts from Disorientation, a science poem by Katie Mack, an astrophysicist. I want to make you dizzy. I want the earth to turn beneath you and knock your balance off, carry you eastward at 1,000 miles an hour into the light and the dark and the light again. I want you to watch the earth rising you up to meet the rays of the morning sun. I want the sky to stop you dead in your tracks as you walk home tonight, because you happened to glance up, and among all the shining pinpricks, you recognized one as the light of an alien world. I want to reach into your consciousness and cast it outward, beyond the light of other suns, to expand it like the universe, not encroaching on some envelope of emptiness, but growing larger, unfolding inside itself. I want you to see your world from 4 billion miles away, a tiny glint of blue in the sharp white light of an ordinary star in the darkness. I want you to try to make out the boundaries of your nation from that vantage point and fail. I want to make you nurse nostalgia for stars long dead, the ones that fused your carbon nuclei and the ones whose last thermonuclear death throes outshined the entire galaxy to send a single photon into your eye. I want you to live forward but see backward, farther and deeper into the past, because in a relativistic universe, you don't have any other choice. I want the stale billion-year-old starlight of a distant galaxy to be your reward. I want to utterly disorient you and let you navigate back by the stars. I want you to lose yourself and find it again, not just here, but everywhere and everything. I want to make it mean something to you, that you are in the cosmos, that you are of the cosmos, that you are born from stardust, and to stardust you will return, that you are a way for the universe to be in awe of itself.
Crash flickers bright here, sing by the light here, at nightfall, shall See that star, see that star, see that star of Bethlehem. See that star, see that star, see that star of Bethlehem. See that star, see that star, see that star of Bethlehem. See that star, see that star, see that star of Bethlehem.
There was no room found in the inn
See that star of Bethlehem.
for him who was born free from sin.
See that star of Bethlehem.
The wise men traveled from the east
See that star of Bethlehem.
to worship him, the Prince of Peace.
See that star of Bethlehem. See that star, see that star, see that star of Bethlehem. See that star, see that star, see that star of Bethlehem. As the star sent forth its light, as it gleamed so bright from the highest height, a song from forth upon the night, and the star continued to be so bright.
Oh, see that
See that star,
Oh,
see that star of Bethlehem.
Oh,
See that star,
see that
see that star, see that star of Bethlehem. See that star of Bethlehem. See that star of
All right, and children can come up because we're going to have children's time today. Oh. 1, 2, 3. You don't have to come up if you don't want, but I know there's some more of you back here just in case. All right. Well, we've got a couple. All right. Hello. Happy New Year. Well, this week, what we're going to do for. Oh, hello. You did come up. Hi. Yeah, you're having fun. That's all right. Do you want to sit? You can keep dancing if you like. All right. So the sermon we're going to be reading today for the scriptures, well, we're doing the Three Kings again. I know some of you, at least, were in the Christmas play, so you already know the story, I'm sure. But what's the thing that stands out most about the Three Kings turning up for you? No ideas? I was kind of expecting to say they brought presents. But see, the thing is about this story is that, yes, the wise men brought presents, and it's all very exciting. It's in all of the songs we have. It's in the Christmas plays. People will make a big deal about it. It's like, oh, they brought gold. They brought spices. It's all very exciting for them. But the thing is, that's not the only gift in the story, because baby Jesus is also a gift. And so actually is the star that they followed. The gift here isn't we brought you recognition, or we brought you fun, expensive presents. The gift is actually that, look, you can come and see the world, you can come around in unexpected places, you can find love, you can find peace, you can find joy, you can find hope. And these are the sort of things that we look for when we decide we're going to go look for the divine. So since it's a new year, if you could you all too, I'm going to bring it up in the sermon, but you can start thinking about it now, how exactly you're going to bring our ideas from Advent through into your year to come. So I know Eric is here, so if you're ready to take the kids back, I have finished. So I hope you all have fun back there. You can go back if you want, or you can go back to your mom. So like I told the children, our scripture today is Matthew 2, 1 through 11. After Jesus' birth, which happened in Bethlehem of Judea during the reign of Herod, astrologers from the east arrived in Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the newborn ruler of the Jews? We observed his star at its rising and have come to pay homage." At this news, Herod became greatly disturbed, as did all of Jerusalem. Summoning all of the chief priests and religious scholars of the people, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. "In Bethlehem of Judea," they informed him. "Here is what the prophet has written. And you, Bethlehem, land of Judah, are by no means least among the leaders of Judah, since from you will come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." Herod called the astrologers aside and found out from them the exact time of the star's appearance. Then he sent them to Bethlehem after having instructed them, "Go and get detailed information about the child. When you have found him, report back to me so that I may go and offer homage too." After their audience with the ruler, they sent out. The star which they had observed at its rising went ahead of them until it came to a standstill over the place where the child lay. They were overjoyed at seeing the star and, upon entering the house, found the child with Mary, his mother. They prostrated themselves and paid homage. Then they opened their coffers and presented the child with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So that was the adoration of the Magi. We're going straight into the etymology today because this is one of those places where language change has led to perception change. Now, the English translation I used for the scripture reading today is the Inclusive Bible, the First Egalitarian translation. That's down to my own personal preference. But it did unfortunately take out a key word here. So every time in there where homage came up, substitute to adore. We know adore. That's not a weird thing to relate to a baby. We expect people to adore babies. They're adorable. Small children too, puppies and kittens, little round birds in the winter, our chickadees and our sparrows and our black-eyed juncos. It's cute. But see, that's the modern adoration. Adoration came into English via French in the Middle Ages, and from the Latin adorare before that, where it was to speak formally, to beseech, to entreat, to ask in prayer. It was to call to, as ad, prefixed to orare, like oration. In the French, the verb had the meanings of to worship, to pay divine honors to bow down before. That's at least in the same associative area as homage, which is the ceremony or act of acknowledging one's faithfulness to a feudal lord. I think we probably like the modern sense of adoration here. But that's not the only name the story has. It's also called the Epiphany. That comes from ancient Greek, through Latin and French and into English. The ancient Greek was epiphania. In discussing war, this was the word used for the sudden appearance of an enemy. In people, for an outward show or appearance, fame, or distinction, particularly if coming from a surprising source or feature. Epiphania was used for Helen's beauty. It could also be used less poetically, as a philosopher might. Euclid uses epiphania in his Elements, which is the foundation of Western geometry, to discuss the visible surface of three-dimensional objects. It was also used in a religious context to describe the manifestation of a god or the accession of a king or emperor come the Romans. This is how Epiphania became our Epiphany, the coming of Christ, the revelation of God on earth to the Magi. But there's another way it was used too. Epiphania is the advent of dawn. The speed of light, not just the stuff your eyes can see, but also radio waves, UV, infrared, X-rays, gamma rays, and microwaves, is 299,792,458 meters per second, which is roughly 1 billion feet per second. Those are numbers that are really too big for a human brain to handle because those aren't human scale numbers at all. But 8.5 minutes is, which is the time it takes for sunlight to reach the Earth. So when we see the sunlight, that's the sun as of 8.5 minutes ago. Anything we see, since light has a speed, is not the state of something at the same instant as that is our perception. On a human scale, this makes absolutely no difference to our lives. On a cosmological scale, it means that the further away you look, the further back in time you see. We measure larger distances in light years, the distance light travels in an Earth year. That comes out to 9.46 trillion kilometers, which is again far too large to really comprehend. To maybe get an idea of how incredibly far that is, remember that the sun is 8.5 minutes away from us, light time. Pluto is 4 hours and 25 minutes. Proxima Centauri, the nearest star to the sun, is 4.25 light years away. The center of our galaxy is 26,000 light years away. Andromeda, our nearest galactic neighbor, is 2.5 million light years from us. Right now, astronomers are seeing Pluto as it was at about dawn this morning. Proxima Centauri as it was during the pandemic, the center of our galaxy as it was when the first known piece of pottery was fired, and Andromeda as of the time of the evolution of the genus Homo. 880 septillion, that's 880 with 24 zeros after it, meters from Earth. In every direction, 13.78 billion years away, we can see the beginning of the universe. Now you may have heard that the universe is infinite, so how can we see a beginning, an edge, at a distinct time and distance? Because light has a speed, and the beginning of the universe has a time, so our observable universe has an 880 septillion meter radius, because that's as far as light has been able to get since the beginning. There is more universe, 808.001 septillion meters from us, and we will never see it. I'm sure you've heard of the Big Bang. Science documentaries have a habit of depicting it as a dark void and then a big explosion of light expanding to fill the space, but that's not really how that works. We're inside the universe, after all. There is, so far as we know, no outside for an explosion to happen in, which is why it's good that there was no explosion. There was an expansion. Quite a lot of effort has gone into the math that proves this, but in summary, the beginning, the universe was an infinitely small, infinitely hot, infinitely dense place. Then the universe properly began in a way that we can observe, comprehend, and model when it started the process of becoming a larger, cooler, more spread out infinity. I cannot explain to you how there can be two different sizes of infinity. It's a math thing. I do not understand it. I had someone who I knew in college who tried to explain it to me. It did not make any sense. But the mathematicians assure me this is a thing that can happen. But if you need a mental image, consider a balloon. It has a certain amount of material before you inflate it. It has the same amount of material after you inflate it. It's just bigger because it's been stretched. In this space of 0 point, I would count out the zeros here, but it's tedious, and I'd be certain to miss some 34 zeros and then a 1 seconds. The universe expanded 100 trillion times. That brought it up to about the size of your average beach ball, which is wild. That's so fast and yet so small, there was a time when you could have held the universe in your hands. A relative eternity later, by the time the universe was 0.000001 seconds old, we had gravity, electromagnetism, the weak nuclear force, the thing that lets nuclear decay happen, and quarks. The universe at about 0.0001 seconds old was the advent of the strong nuclear force, allowing those quarks to combine into protons and neutrons. At about 2 minutes old, the universe had cooled off enough for the protons and neutrons to invite the electrons from electromagnetism around to get funky together. And for the next half hour, Big Bang nucleosynthesis happened, creating hydrogen and helium and a little tiny bit of lithium. By 32 minutes in, the universe was large enough and cool enough that protons and neutrons weren't constantly running into each other. It got a lot harder to make new stuff until stars came around, about 100 million years later. Astrophysicists call this moment the cosmic dawn. Who knows or has guesses about why there are solid things?
They clump together.
Okay, they clump together. I got a shrug from way in the back. Things seem solid because of electromagnetism. You are made of atoms, which have electrons, so they have a charge. Other things are also made of atoms, which have electrons, so they also have a charge. The electrons of you and the electrons of other condensed conglomerations of matter repel each other in the same way that magnets do. So technically, you have never touched anything in your life. You have merely gotten your atoms very, 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 very close to other atoms, close enough for your electrons to repel themselves from the electrons of other things, which stops you from being able to move further towards those atoms, creating the illusion of solid objects. Who's heard of dark matter? Some people, okay. Anybody know what it is? I got head shakes. Great, because we're not totally sure what it is, so if anybody had said they did know, they would not be correct. It's matter for sure, but we call it dark because it doesn't interact with light. Light is electromagnetism, which means it also doesn't interact with electrons. So not only is dark matter invisible, it's untouchable. 85% of all mass in the universe is estimated to be dark matter, so you've definitely encountered some already. There's probably some in this room right now, and you might be sitting in a clump of it. But if we can't see it and we can't touch it, how do we know it exists? Observation and math. See, dark matter doesn't interact with electromagnetism nor the nuclear forces, but it does interact with gravity. The only thing that makes gravity work the way it clearly works from what we can see the universe doing is if there's more mass than just the visible, touchable, regular matter. The only way we can make math describe what's happening is if there is quite a lot of something that is affected by gravity and therefore has mass, but that we haven't otherwise figured out how to detect. We need this dark matter to ignite the cosmic dawn. We need dark matter, unseen and untouchable, to be able to see, to touch, to exist. Without dark matter, the infant spreading universe, with its hydrogen and some helium and a tiny little bit of lithium, is just gas dissipating into expanding space, without anything dense enough to coalesce the seed of a star. Stars do important work for the universe. Stars have enough mass and density to have the energy to smash protons and neutrons and atoms together in their cores and make new elements. If you remember your periodic table, we organize the elements by their number of protons. Stars can get up to synthesizing iron, 26 protons, before nuclear fusion stops producing energy to power the star and starts using energy. This eats at the star as helium becomes hydrogen, becomes lithium, and onto elements like carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, potassium, and calcium, until iron is reached. All the other 91 elements that after iron come from supernovas, the dying explosion of a star, or we've so far only seen them in particle colliders on Earth. A supernova has been one of the scientific solutions proposed by people trying to find the real, please note my doubtful quotation marks here, Star of Bethlehem from the story of the Magi. It's not very likely, and none of the proposals are. More importantly, trying to find the real Star of Bethlehem is missing the point. The star is a symbol. It's a guidepost to the Epiphany, a dawn, a revelation, a sudden realization of divinity. I don't actually have a belief in a personal, omnipotent, omniscient God. That's a small g, gender non-specific God, and I'm not discriminating on the basis of theologies either. I've known for a very long while that I don't believe in the sort of monotheistic God you expect from your Christianities, your Judaisms, your Islams. I investigated polytheistic religions too, extinct and extant. I found I couldn't really believe in non-omnipotent, non-omniscient gods either. Even religions where proper action matters rather than belief in any theology, which I thought would be closer to what would work for me. I haven't been able to find it in myself to commit to that either, because I do also need the intellectual engagement and the theology, and I still don't agree with the theology, so it doesn't pan out. Even your maybe has gods, maybe doesn't have gods, multiple versions of Buddhism, that mainstay for alternate religiosity in America doesn't do it for me. What I did discover is that I really like thinking about religion, and that's what's gotten me here. This is my family church, of course. A lot of you here know my grandparents, but that's a cultural thing. This wouldn't be my second guest sermon, and I wouldn't be employed by this church, and I wouldn't be a member of this congregation if I didn't go into that prospective new members meeting a couple years ago and get told that First Parish does not require a statement of faith to join. If I'd been asked to recite and swear to the Nicene Creed, I wouldn't be here. It would have been a lie if I'd done it, and I may not have a belief in a personal God, but I do have a strongly held belief against making solemn oaths you don't truly fully mean. The common story about atheists, it's not where I'd put myself incidentally, nor with the agnostics, but atheist is the closest thing to what I'm getting at here, so words, is that they don't believe in a religion, read Christianity here, because biblical literalism doesn't agree with science. I never was brought up with biblical literalism, but I also didn't get any exposure to the kind of biblical interpretation we get here. I don't think Christine is on, but thank you, Christine. So science did play a little part in my earliest memories of having problems with monotheism. But my bigger issues are actually the problem of evil, and that I don't see a reason why anything that exists or happens needs or would have a God to make it happen in the first place. But some people get really hung up on the very, very small probability of the universe existing in a way that means the physics is a way, that the chemistry can be a way, that biology could be a way, that life can exist and evolve sapience, and look at the universe and ask, why is it like this? They'll go, well, because the probability is so small, someone must have picked this, if they're going in a religious or spiritual direction. For the people who are worried about it and going in a scientific direction, that's the way we get things like multiple universe theories, where all the probabilities can and do happen, even if they're not happening here, to us, so then it doesn't matter that the probability of our universe being like this is so very, very small. I don't think we need that. We can just be that small probability. That's fine. You don't need to explain it. That's just how it happened. It could have not have happened, but it's cool that it did. It's very interesting to be improbable. It could also have happened differently, and physics could have a completely different way of operating, and that universe could be incomprehensible by humans, and maybe it could have gotten something equivalent to this universe life, and it could become sapient and ask, why is it like this? And maybe I can't imagine what it would look like, because that's completely outside of any conception we could have. But that's also really cool. We're used to the modern cultural idea that religion is opposed to science. But Christianity has a long, long history of religion and science going hand in hand, because for a lot of people, even modern people, if God created everything, then studying everything is a way to better know God. We owe the creation of Western universities and hospitals to the Catholic Church, for instance. Centuries of Western philosophy, mathematics, engineering, medicine, physics, biology, genetics, chemistry, and astronomy owe their development to funding from Orthodox, Catholic, or Protestant patrons, and also Jewish ones. We don't talk about that a lot. The literary efforts of monastics, education provided by religious institutions, or simply personal faith and conviction. The idea that religion is an impediment to science is simplistic. It can be weaponized as a tool against science, just as science can be weaponized against religion. Our famous historical case here is, of course, heliocentrism, that the Earth orbits around the sun. This is Copernicus and Galileo. I'm sure you've heard of those guys. Heliocentrism decenters Earth from the primary point of the universe, which matches a particular Christian theological interpretation of humans as the focus of God's creation, being made in his image. And so humans must be the most important non-God thing in the universe, and so the Earth must be the most important part of the universe, and so it must be at the center of the universe. We know that Earth is not at the center of the universe. Nowhere is the center of the universe, because the universe is infinite. So by definition, if it has no edges, it can have no center. The astronomers are right and the theologians are wrong. But we are actually the center of the universe. Every point of the universe is the center of its own observable universe, because light has a speed. You are the center of your own universe. So is the person nearest to you the center of theirs. The universe does not look the same from the Milky Way as it does from Andromeda, or from Earth and Pluto, or from the Sun and Proxima Centauri. There are 20 essential elements of the human body: hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sodium, magnesium, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, potassium, calcium, manganese, iron, cobalt, copper, zinc, selenium, bromine, molybdenum, the difficult one, and iodine. There's more elements in our bodies, of course, but if we don't have these 20, or enough of these, it goes very, very badly for us. I presume you've all heard the Neil deGrasse Tyson quote, "We are all made of stardust." If you didn't, it was also referenced in the poem that we read today. It's very true. There are major, minor, and trace elements of the human body. The trace elements make up 0.3% of all atoms in the human body, and includes all the non-essential elements, as well as the essential elements created by a dying star: iron, cobalt, copper, zinc, selenium, bromine, molybdenum, there we go, and iodine. Everything else is created by a living star, except hydrogen. Stars do fuse hydrogen, so it's not really wrong to include hydrogen in with the stardust. But stars nucleosynthesize atoms to make new elements with more protons, so they can't make hydrogen with its one, with its one proton. That's the smallest an atom can be. Remember Big Bang nucleosynthesis, when atoms were finally able to be created? The time when the universe was 2 to 32 minutes old? That's where the hydrogen comes from, functionally the dawn of time. 62% of the atoms in your body are hydrogen. Over half of you is one of the oldest things in creation. Our candles of Advent that led us to our epiphany are joy, love, hope, and peace. I love learning about things I find interesting. It brings me joy. I hope that someday we will figure out what exactly dark matter is and why it's like that, and that the answer will be weird and interesting and very fun, and that the process of discovery will be equally as exciting. There is peace to be found in the serenity of a nighttime star field. The star the Magi follow is a guidepost, a symbol, a metaphor making concrete an idea. The point is not to go searching the universe for definitely real astronomical phenomena that some definitely real priests followed, to a definitely real baby who is definitely really God. The point is that there is divinity in the world, and we can go find it if we're looking for it. If divinity comes down to awe, to adoration, then I may not believe in any God, but there is divinity to be found everywhere and everything, so long as you look far enough, close enough, small enough, grand enough. Let us expand our horizons and let us find wonder everywhere we look, in everything we discover. Let us touch with our minds and our hearts what we cannot with our hands, so that we remember that energy and dense matter cannot be created nor destroyed, but only change form. That what is us is also everything that has been and shall be. Amen. So I would like to thank here for giving our gifts and offerings, Missions again for announcing all the things that they do through the year. So if you want to give, of course, you can leave things in the offering plates as we go out, but we have our QR codes. The Venmo one is new as of Christmas. And Camille's here. Where is Camille? I saw her. There you are. Thank you again, Camille, for making that work. That was a whole process. So you want to stand up, we can do the doxology.
Let all things their Creator bless, and worship God in humbleness. Alleluia, alleluia. Praise, praise the love who gives us birth, redeeming, giving life its worth. Alleluia, 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 alleluia.
So for prayer, am I still on? Can everyone hear me? No? Okay, thank you, Tom. So for prayers of the people today, I'd like to first call out for our Nigeria and Venezuela, as I'm sure people have been hearing in the news, and it seems that the way we're going to do things now is just go and interfere in other countries. for reasons that I'm sure are being made, for some people at least, to sound like they're a good idea. But is this really how we want to handle our international diplomacy and problem solving? I'd also like to remember everyone who's having losses and hardships around the holidays. Again, especially for Marianne and Mickelson and losing her husband Pete. And generally that this year improves on the last, because I know we've been saying it for the last number of years now, but we can try it again. May 2026 be better than 2025. That whatever goals we may have set and resolutions we may have made, that our work towards them benefits both ourselves and others. That we carry our love, hope, peace, and joy with us past this Christmastide through the whole year. You can join me now in the Lord's Prayer. O breathing life, your name shines everywhere. Release the space to plant your presence here. Embody your desire in every light and form. Grow us through this moment's bread and wisdom. Untie the knots of failure binding us as we release the strands we hold of others' faults. Help us not forget our source, yet free us from abandoning the present moment. From you arises every vision, power, and song, from gathering to gathering. May our future actions grow from here. Amen. And then if you'd like to, you can stand and we'll do their last hymn, God Who Stretched the Spangled Heavens.
Fields of space, we
So we hope that, again, this year will be a good year. That this epiphany in time, as well as in understanding and knowledge, will bring us through to a new creative time where we may all find our joy and our hope, more love than we have already had, and the peace that we seem to be losing. Amen.
maybe it would be nice to have a little round of applause for Luca. She filled in beautifully. Thank you.